this moment, allow me to invite our first panelist, Reverend Samuel Kanyike. Please walk to the podium and this place. Reverend Samuel Kanyike is a minister in the Church of Christ, and he is a husband to our assistant chaplain, the Reverend Lovinsa Kanyike Katana. Welcome him better than what you did. Allow me to also welcome Miss Peace Feta. Mrs. Peace Feta. A very, very pertinent woman in the Church of Christ. She's the head of laity of this very chapel where we have come, a chapel that is doing the mission. And she is, Mr. Simon Feta is not here, but of course she will tell us more about that. But please welcome her to this very place. And I will be seated here in this very place, and my name is already mentioned in this place. Now, we do mission in many ways, and we want to appreciate the chaplaincy team for organizing this kind of way of doing mission, reaching out to people that are singles and those that are married but have questions resting in their minds and their hearts. Tonight is such a very special moment for us to open our hearts as we prayed in the words of the grace that we are in the presence of the Holy Spirit. And we want to take this moment very pertinent to each one of us in this place. Before we go any further, I will invite the chaplain who's going to speak to us in opening up this. But I want you to know that this is one other way of reaching out in mission. Many people's hearts are wounded. People are struggling with disappointments, frustrations, and a lot of things that have happened. And specifically, we are focusing on relationships tonight because many of the relationships that have not worked out have ended up being disastrous to lives of people. And many people up to today are still having a lot of questions. So we want to appreciate God in the first place for such a moment as this, that we have a platform to ask questions. And especially gentlemen, we missed out last semester. We had something very important that we wanted to handle here. But I know God is still working out something. But we have a moment today as gentlemen to ask questions where we have to. Because as you know, today men are missing out in action on many grounds, isn't it? Isn't it? And in the same way, many women have a lot of questions concerning relationships. Allow me to invite the chaplain to come and break the ice for us, and we shall proceed from there. Welcome, the chaplain.
I thank you so much, Reverend Damba, for emceeing tonight, but also guiding the floor. I want to thank our panelists, Mrs. Feta, Reverend Kanyike. Thank you so much for accepting to come and speak to us tonight. I want to introduce my Chana.
Oh, yes.
My Chana, please stand up. This means I'm really experienced in relationships. But in Ezekiel chapter 16, there is what we call an allegory, if you don't know that terminology. Through the prophet Ezekiel, God tells a story about Israel and the development of Israel. The way God tells that story is a child being born and abandoned, and as that child grows, God is intensely involved in that child's life. The child is a girl. So in that allegory, God tells a story of the development of a girl. From birth, she's born, nobody to take care of her. She's kicking in the blood, and God comes in. As the child begins to grow, God is with her, taking care of this child. But in that allegory, there is a statement God makes in that allegory. And God says that when I saw that you had grown enough and ready for love, I brought covering over you, so that I may give you dignity. I read that allegory many years ago and preached from the same many years ago. But the idea of ready for love stood out for me. Tonight we are talking about relationships, because we appreciate that as we grow, as we develop, there is such a stage when you are ready for love. Life does not come with any expert. None of us is born as an expert at life. Some things we will read, others will watch and learn from others, but many times we will crash because we take wrong decisions, or we don't know where to take our questions. Some of you are finishing university. Some of you may be hooked up. Others may not be hooked up. Some of you may have come to tonight's session hall. Others may have come to tonight's sessions bleeding and asking questions. Why did he leave me? Why did she leave me? What did I do wrong? And so on and so forth. So tonight we thought we'd create an environment where this whole subject of relationships may be demystified, where we can begin to get answers, where we can even openly talk freely about experiences, if you will, or ask the questions you always wanted to ask. And so that's why we have these microphones here. At right time, Reverend Dembe will ask you to ask your question, to air out your views. It is a learning experience for all of us. So I invite you tonight to enjoy the night, because it's for our good. God bless you.
Now that hand clap, I have sowed it in you. Now clap the real one. Yes. Thank you so much. Now, to begin with, we will have approximately 10 to 15 minutes for every panelist to say something to us on the topics that are already before them. And then it is from that we will have, we will begin our Q&A. Even if the question you want to ask is out of what has been discussed, it will be really incumbent on you to do so. But for now, allow me to invite Mrs. Peace Feta.
Thank you very much, Reverend Simon. Good evening, friends, and praise the Lord. It's a great pleasure to be here with you, to fellowship this evening as we share in the word of the Lord, as we share in life experiences, as we share in the challenges and the many questions that we do have and walk with as young people. Remembering that the path you are walking, we have walked, and where we are, you are coming. So when we speak, circumstances and contexts may differ, but ultimately we have gone through what you are going through, right? My name is Peace Feta, and I am married, as rightly put, to Reverend Simon Feta. He is not around, he is away for studies. He's a student like you are. So at this time he's sleeping. At this time where he is, it is about 2 a.m. And he was in class today the whole day. So when you are learning, know that you're not the only ones who are studying. People are actually studying, and it's hard to study through the lockdown. I am married for 12 years. We are blessed with 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. And as I walked out this evening, because they've not seen me walk out, they asked, "Mommy, where are you going? Are you coming back? What are you going to do at the university at this time?" Because we come to the university during the day. We don't come to the university at night. But I told them I'll be sharing in a fellowship and return after that. I received a call. And it was to talk about relationships. And I wondered what to talk about relationships. And it was left plainly like that. Just come and say something about relationships. I cracked my head, slept thinking about it, woke up. And it's a complex thing, but yet it is a very simple thing. We as human beings are relational beings. We love to relate as a human being. Any normal human being, without any challenge, would love to relate. Have I been in a relationship before? Yes, I am in a relationship now. I have been in a relationship before. Have I suffered a broken relationship? Oh, yes, I suffered a broken relationship. Okay? Was I a Christian? Yes, I was a Christian. Are we together? So what we are talking about, don't sit back and cry and whine over it. We have all gone through that. Maybe not everyone has suffered a broken relationship, but certainly we have gone through a journey in life relating with people. And when you look at relationships, I try to understand what exactly is a composition of a relationship. It comprises friendship. It comprises sexual attraction. It may comprise intellectual compatibility, and it may comprise of love. Are we together? Friendship, sexual attraction, okay? Intellectual compatibility, and love. And the love is put at the end intentionally, so that we do not think that it is about love that we are relating, but we relate because of friendship. Okay? And when we look at it and you ask, what about love? In the few literatures that I looked through, and from what I do agree with, love is the glue that holds the relationship together. Are we together? Love is there, but it is the glue that binds this relationship together. And sometimes we tend to confuse lust, attraction, and companionship for love. Okay? I would say lust is like in the heat of the moment. Okay? It is like an adrenaline rush that is within you. It is not necessarily love. And that is what many of us do struggle with. You say you love this young man. I love this young woman here. You know, but when you see this one, you love. When you see the other one, you love. When you see here, you love everyone. It can't ultimately be that you love everyone. You lust over some of them. Are we together? So we need to clearly understand this and know how we are dealing with them. But as I said earlier, we are relational beings. There is a warmth that you feel when you relate with people. You get? You know, when I sit back in my house with the distance and a mile that my husband is, I am still very comfortable and confident that even if everybody else didn't care, at least I have that one person that cares. That one, I am sure. It brings a certain warmth within you, knowing that you know there is somebody that cares. And what do we look for in relationships? If I ask this question and had your responses, it would be very amazing. What do we look for in relationships? Love, money, what else? What else? Security. Those are things we are looking for in relationships, okay? But we need to understand that the one thing that each of us wants and feel bad when we do not get it when we are in relationships, we are looking out for kindness. Okay? You're looking out for loyalty. Are we together? You're looking out for understanding. You know that you are where you are, but there are people who don't understand you completely. And they sit and they wonder, how do you even deal with Jane? How do you? Because I can't. I feel like going mad just looking at her. How do you deal with Peter? I can't stand that guy. Are we together? We all look for understanding. That guy you do not understand. That young woman you do not understand. There is somebody that has taken time to understand them. And all of us in relationships seek to be understood. We all seek kindness. When you receive an act of kindness, when you know there is some loyalty that I will not be betrayed, I am sure that Simon here, Reverend Simon here, not now, I'm referring to this Reverend Simon, not my Reverend Simon. No, not this one here is Simon Peter, the other one is Simon. Reverend Simon Peter, me knowing that he will not backstab me. Or Auntie Tama there, for me knowing that she is loyal to me. You see, we need to differentiate some of these things. Loyalty doesn't mean I am an upright person. Loyalty doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. Are we together? But it means that this person is loyal to me, and probably I am loyal to them, irrespective of all my shortcomings. Are we together? So that is what we seek and we look for in relationships, many times subconsciously. That is why when you walk, and this happens so much among the young ladies, when you think Jen is your friend, when you think Mary is your friend, and then you hear that she gossiped about you, it hurts deep. Okay? You've not spoken about it, but you expected this loyalty from Mary, that if something has gone wrong, she should be able to walk to you and tell you, hey, peace, this is going this way, I don't think it's right. Are we together? So we also expect that we are going to get a person with whom we share common values, okay? And attitudes and attributes. Usually we expect to find such, or we desire, and we are looking out for that. That's why you find that very rarely will you find people who are not sharing similar values coming together. Very rarely. Are we together? For example, if for me, I am not a believer in Casablanca, I am not a believer in hives, it doesn't mean I will not talk to you. But the level at which I relate with you is going to be totally different because we do not share common values. Are we together? It will be easier for me to deal with Pamela. It will be easier for me to deal with John because we go to the fellowship together. We go for ministry together. It will be easy because we share common values and attributes together. We also are looking for emotional stability in relationships. You know, today we were having a discussion and we're talking about sexual and gender-based violence. And you just have got no idea how much destabilizing it is when you are emotionally abused. When we talk about gender-based violence, people tend to think about the physical beating. No, there is the emotional bit of it, there is the psychological bit of it, there is the sexual bit of it, and then there is the physical attribute or aspect in it. So somebody can actually be violated emotionally. And let me tell you, it does not matter how high and mighty you are. Once your emotions are tampered with, it will bring you down. So one thing that we look out for in relationships is emotional stability. Once your emotional stability is good, you are going to be able to pull through very many things. The people that you find that are attempting to commit suicide, people that you find that are getting into depression, it's because they have not attained this emotional stability that is desired. Are we together? My time must be winding up. And I want to look at some mistakes. What are the mistakes we make? Remind me to tell you something. Just say you said you're going to say something if I don't say it. The common mistakes that we make as young people, as married people, we take each other for granted. Yeah? You think, I am still young. I am 20. I can always get a guy. Hello? You're not the only one. Are we together? Okay? So we take people for granted. As married people, we take people for granted. I am married. Ate munange. Kati muna ina chigala. Sichanoonya. So ne ka makeup tocheyisaako. No ka makeup, no ka perfume. Okay? You just put on fuwa like that. You don't care. You wake up in a t-shirt and a lace the whole day. The man leaves you in a lace or a t-shirt and comes home you in a t-shirt and a lace. And he's going out and he's seeing very many beautiful things appealing to his eyes. There is one young man I studied with at a postgraduate, and he told me, Piso tuka kumulimo mwana na kuyitako. Bana ye bwintani bwe batuletera. Akana ne kakuyitako nga kaunyanga sweetie. Hello, are you hearing that statement? Now you're a married man. Hey. Okay, that this you are at work and this young lady passes by you. These are usually during the time of internships. This young lady passes by you and she is smelling like a sweet. Now you are married and you think you are done. You're taking each other for granted. So we need to avoid that. The common mistake we make, we take each other for granted. We think we are still young. We think we still have options. 2, we oftentimes complain a lot about our partners to everybody. Okay? I do not condone anybody to stay in an abusive relationship whatsoever form it may be. But do not go around talking to everyone. Your whole class knows, your whole dormitory knows, your whole hostel knows that you and the Timo are having an issue. I think that is not right, and that is where we are failing. Then we are not respecting each other. Okay? We are not respecting each other, and that is causing us a lot of trouble. We do not trust each other, lack of trust. Then we are secretive. We are not open to one another. Okay? He's finding out, oh, she used to move out with John. Then you're finding out, actually he was with Penny now, he was with who, and you're like, he told me he has never had a girlfriend, but actually apparently he has had 6 of them. Be open about these things if you have an intent of getting somewhere with these relationships. And finally, please don't get into a relationship with expectations. Get into a relationship to give, not to receive. Okay? Because now if you are dating this young man here who is still depending on pocket money and you're expecting him to buy you a car, are you crazy? In his whole family, his whole clan, they don't even own a bicycle. You think they are going to buy you a car? Are you serious? Hey? No, don't come with those expectations. Come that we may give and share, and then we may be able to move. Let me say this at this point, and I'll stop here. I know that we'll have an opportunity to share a little bit more. Let me tell you this. I have promised myself that I am going to tell young men, especially this. If there is a young lady that you have seen and you like, please tell her. If she refuses, let her refuse. Please tell her. Okay? Many of you sit with these young ladies for 3 years. Then you're going to leave and you just keep looking at her like this. Then when you get out, your boyfriends or your fellow boys are teasing you. Man, you're very slow at these things. And you're like, no, you see, I am coming. And then you see the very first ones just come, sweet, like Usain Bolt. Pass by you and they've taken the girl. Then when you get out, you begin feeling bad. You end up trying to look for somebody that looks a little bit like this person, and you end up hurting yourself or settling for less. Let me tell you, you will be a contented young man if you approached peace and peace said no, than you never trying. Are we together? Young ladies, it's a little bit difficult if I say that if you see a young man that you like, that you approach him, it will be difficult. But my dear, position yourself in a way that he will see you. Don't give him opportunity to see another person. Position yourself. Okay? If it means you're the one going to get him a seat in class, get him the seat in class. Find out where he is. It's time for lectures. Don't let him be. Are we together? You're not saying anything, but your actions are speaking louder. Are we together? Let me tell you, the biggest mistake that we make is never to declare what we feel for other people. Okay? And this is mostly with the young men. Okay? And then you get out and you feel terribly hurt. What happens if in the future God blesses you with a little money? You begin interfering with another person's marriage because you ultimately had wanted to marry peace. But you didn't have the courage to tell peace that you loved her. Please tell her so that tomorrow when you find peace and you're driving a VX and she is walking on foot or she's seated on a boda boda, she does not regret, yeah? Or you don't begin telling her, Mnange, nakugamba no gana, I told you and you refused. Please don't say that. But give it a try. It is not bad to try. If it fails, it's okay. It is good to fail. No child wakes up and crawls and just walks. They all crawl and they begin staggering, they fall. If we are to count how many times children fall when they are learning to walk, if they give up, they will never walk. But they keep trying until they eventually get up on their feet and they walk. God bless you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mrs. Peace Feta.